Sending emergency.
My mommy and Daddy are having a fight.
Is he hitting her?
I have a dream that I wake up with a light heart.
I am at ease, serene and calm.
I am me again, total and complete. I have no fear.
Today, I will not be hit, bitten, kicked, scratched, spit at, punched, shoved, threatened, degraded, or shamed.
And I can breathe again.
Well, he put a tape recorder in the place evidently that day, and I guess he wanted to see if I was having an affair on him or something. I don't know what it was, but he put it in there and he said that he heard something on the tape, which there was nothing. And he said he heard something, and then that's when he kicked my friends out. He came back home on his lunch break that same day and kicked my friends out, and then started in on me about 3 in the afternoon and didn't quit until the next morning.
The complexities of domestic violence often make women feel as if they're surrounded by closed doors. They feel isolated, trapped, and imprisoned. Imagine feeling as if you have no place to turn, being terrorized in your own home and never knowing when the next blow-up may come.
I was scared. He told me every day for 10 years, he told me that he would kill me if I ever tried to leave him. If I ever left the house and he caught me leaving, then he would put me in the basement and torture me. No, I didn't think about leaving.
I had said something that made him mad, and I can't even remember what it was, but he just slapped me. And my mouth started bleeding, and I could taste the blood, and I was like kind of shocked, and I believe I started crying, and then he started crying, and he was like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. He's like, you just made me mad by what you said.
Abusers often say that they've lost control, but the reality is that they are very calculated in their abuse. They feel a sense of entitlement, and they are very thoughtful and calculated about how it is they abuse.
But those put-downs do, they just reduce you to feeling you're kind of a subhuman individual, like maybe these things that they're saying about you are true. After all, this is a person that is supposed to be, caring for you so much, and you just do what you can to kind of hold everything together, and you caretake not only for your children, but you begin to caretake for them.
Domestic violence is not about race, income, alcohol, or drug abuse. Sometimes these are complicating factors, but at the center of domestic violence is an extreme sense of entitlement to exert power and control over another person. Abusers use both physical and emotional tactics to control their partners. Escape often seems elusive and hopeless. One Friendship Home resident, Angel, was locked in her home from the outside. Her children were not allowed to play outside without the abuser being home, and Angel was not allowed to talk to anyone. There was no phone and no link to the outside world.
The windows were nailed shut. There was foil over the windows, and then there was newspaper over the foil. So the front door had a double deadbolt, which locked from, had a key lock from the inside and a key lock from the outside, and he held those keys. Every window was nailed shut. Every window was covered. Every door was shut, nailed shut. The 2 back doors, we had 2 back doors, and they were both nailed shut. But that was for my own good, according to him. When I got out, I felt like I was freed from my life sentence, because that's what it felt like, a life sentence.
There's a time when I thought that just hit me and get it over with so that it's gone.
He just would throw a fit. Well, where were you at and what were you doing? And you were sleeping with so-and-so in the bathroom at work, and just really outrageous, accusing type of stuff. And then he got to where, well, you're not going to work today. And he would block me in the kitchen, and he wouldn't let me out. So I'd be stuck in the kitchen for like a half an hour, and then I'd be late to work.
At Friendship Home, we recognize that every woman is an individual. She's experienced battering in an individual way, and we really work with her to identify what her needs are, what path she wants to follow.
And your abuser, he's still
in Lancaster County, 1 in 4 women say they've experienced domestic violence at some time in their lives. Terror and violence, combined with intimidation and isolation, make victims of domestic violence feel like prisoners in their own homes. Sometimes, the only option is to become homeless to protect the safety of her and her children. That's when they reach out for shelter.
He said that he would kill me. He told me, first of all, and he would cut me up and scatter me throughout the whole United States so nobody would ever find a body, so nobody could ever pin anything on him. And he told me if I ever put him in jail, it would be twice as bad when he got out. He just told me that every day for the whole time we were together. So, I mean, it's not, I believed him.
When a woman takes the chance and chooses to leave the abuser to seek shelter, it's often the most dangerous time in her life. When the abuser begins to lose their sense of control, they often escalate the violence. Eventually, Angel's abuser allowed a phone line to be installed for internet access. Angel took the opportunity to break free.
And my mom was there too. And I'm talking to her, and she said, pull the foil off so you can see me. And I wouldn't. I couldn't. Because if he came home, then he would know. So I couldn't do that. She's like, just pull it off. You're leaving in 15 minutes. You're getting out of there in 15 minutes. I said, Mom, I can't. And I couldn't get the screen open. There was about this much room, and we all went through that and got out. And I was scared to death. I knew he was at work, but I was scared if the phone rang, then he would know something was wrong. I was really scared.
Well, I think all the women that we see are the most courageous women I've ever met. To pick up, leave everything that you have behind with just the hope that you're going to have something better for your future, for you and your children. It takes a lot of courage.
Hello, Friendship Home.
Friendship Home is a place where women can find safety, shelter, and the kind of support they need to face the challenges ahead of them. Dedicated advocates and case managers help women and children understand the difficult dynamics of domestic violence, help open new doors of hope, and to help families in crisis. Children who have witnessed violence in the home are at high risk of becoming abusers or victims of abuse themselves.
He told them, what goes on in our house stays in our house. And you don't tell nobody. Don't tell Grammy, don't tell nobody. Don't tell anybody at school, nothing. Or you're just gonna make it worse.
Children's advocates provide support to mothers by helping the kids work through the trauma they have witnessed, thus equipping them with the skills that will help them develop healthy, non-violent relationships in the future. Often the most important role a children's advocate can play is to spend quality time with that child, making them feel loved and cared for while their mother may be working through the details and stressors of providing for their family's future.
It didn't seem normal, but for a lot of the time I thought it was. It wasn't until I got into middle school that I started realizing that people didn't act like that, because I have a grandpa who does the same thing to my grandma, and everyone in my family is that same way. So I didn't realize that that wasn't normal.
I was in a domestic violence situation, and I think that's what attracted me to the job. Was I felt like I had something in common with the women and the children that I'd be working with. I was on the other side of the table, and I could see how inward looking I was and how much my child really needed me. And a lot of the times you don't even realize that you're doing that. You're just so concerned about, wow, I have $5 left. And you have to go out and ask other people for clothes for your kids. And so that's really hard. And I understand what a lot of the mothers go through when they have to come to the desk and ask for gas vouchers, and how grateful you are when you get that from people and to have an organization. So I think that's really good, and I would have loved to have my child have been able to have a children's advocate that could have helped out in terms of sitting down with them and talking to them and letting them know that your mom loves you.